In Daf Chet Amud Bet, we're going to see over here two fascinating points of how careful a person has to be from nivel peh, from using his mouth foul, meaning provocative, curses, even if it's not curses, in a bad way, Rabotai. Also, we're going to see over here what happens when there's no tzaddikim in the world to be able to replace the people that do the averas. Chas v'shalom, young children, they get caught for the generation. Let me read for you over here the story. You guys will understand what's going on. Masechet Ketubot Daf Chet Amud Bet says like this: Ki had Rav Chaim bar Abba makrei b'nei Reish Lakish have. Rav Chaim, the son of Abba, he used to teach Reish Lakish's son Chumash. Ve'amri la matne b'nei Reish Lakish chava. Some say no, he used to teach him Mishnah. Shechiv le Yenuka chas v'shalom lo olin Rabotai. Where is it? Rav Chaim bar Abba's son died lo olinu. Yoma kama lo azal gabei. One day, the first day, Reish Lakish did not go to visit Rav Chaim bar Abba. Lemachar, but the following day, Davrei li Yehuda bar Nachamni miturgamanei. He spoke to Yehuda bar, the son of Nachamni, who was his translator, because every single rabbi had a translator when they used to speak. Amrle, he said to the miturgaman, he said to the translator, when they got to Rabbi Chaim bar Abba's house, Kum ema milta kol kabel yenuka. Say something in order to comfort Rabbi Chaim bar Abba. Patach ve'amar Rabotai, he opened and he said, Vaya'ar Hashem ve'in'as mik'as banav u'benotav. Hashem saw and he was provoked from anger, his children and their daughters. Rabotai, what does this pasuk mean? Listen to this very carefully. Dor she'avot min atzim la'akadosh baruch hu. If you have a generation where the fathers think it's okay to do averos and everything's going to be fine, meaning they provoke Hashem, they get angry, they anger Hashem. Rabotai, who does Hashem take revenge on? Who does he go hand on? Ko'es al b'nehem. He gets angry on their children. Ve'al bonotehem chas v'shalom, and on their daughters. Umeitim kishehem ketanim. Rabotai lo olenu chas v'shalom. They die when they're young. So he's trying to tell this Rabbi Chaim bar Abba. He's trying to comfort him in this way. Maybe chas v'shalom, you did something to cause Hashem to lo olenu. Some say no, it was other way. It was Bachur Hava. Some say it was a Bachur, a teenager. This is what the translator told Rav Chaim bar Abba. Al ken al Bachurav lo yismach Hashem. It's a pasuk, Rabotai. Ve'et yotoma ve'et almonotav lo yirachem. Ki kulu chanev umer'ah v'chol pe dover nevala. B'chozod lo shava po ve'od yado nutuya. I'm not going to go into the whole pasuk. I just want to go on one part of the pasuk. The pasuk asks a question. My ve'od yadon tuya. What does it mean that Hashem's hand is still stretched out? Amar Rav Chanan bar Rav. Rav Chanan, the son of Rav, said, Hakol, Rabotai, let's do this carefully. Hakol yudi'in kala lama nichnasa lachupa. Everybody knows why a kala, why a girl who's getting married, she enters into a chuppah. Everybody knows what she's going to do. Ela Rabotai, rather what? Kola minabel piv. Anybody who speaks foul language, if I could say it like that. Umotzi davar nivela mi piv, and he takes out foul language from his mouth. Afilu nechtam lo gezar dino shel 70 shana letova. Even if Hashem sealed for him 70 years of good year, prosperous year, everything's supposed to be good. The 70 years they're going to turn to be bad. Why? Not curse. I didn't say curse. Chas v'shalom to curse. I didn't say one word about curse. Nivel peh. You know what means nivel peh? We know why a kala goes into the chuppah, correct? And you know what a lot of people say? Sivona, oh, ana, what's the shtuyot? That's what they do. People speak like that. This type of speech will bring you problems, Rabotai. 70 good years, just right now turn bad years. Not only that, Rabotai, you have a lot of times, people walk in the streets, correct? Rabotai, I'm not telling you, don't look at me like this. I'm telling you the fact what's out there. I'm not telling you what I'm doing. People walk in the street and you see, Rabotai, I'm not afraid, I'm talking, you see people, they watch, a girl comes by, vai, pas mari kakaunyo tama lashat kana, brat. What's this? Are you out of your mind? They look at her, I don't want to start saying, they look at the places, that is nivel peh. I didn't say you cursed, I say you cursed. Nivel peh means you use your language in a provocative way. You speak very dirty. Nivel peh, if cursing, how much more so it's included? Who allowed you to curse? You with me? Well, how many of us? And then we wondered. People wonder they want to have children, or they want to get married. You never know the words that are coming out of your mouth or what they could actually cause for you to lose the bracha. Rabotai. That's what he says over here. How careful we have to be with our language. A lot of times you have a mother or father, they start screaming. Correct? They start saying the child. You're going to be nobody, you're going to be a janitor, you're going to be a low life. Rabotai, continue saying it. You'll see that Satan, Al Tiftach, there's a whole sugi of Al Tiftach Pepe Satan. You're not allowed to open the mouth of the Satan. You can't say these things you do, say these things, amen. And then you wonder why the child goes off the derech. The reason, because you implanted. Words have a mitzvah, words have a reality. With your words you create things, we don't see it. You ever see somebody tells you a good word, you feel better? Somebody says a bad word, it kills you. Why? It's only a word. Because it does something. There is power in words. Rabotai, he comes over here and he says, I don't get it. You came to comfort him? This is how you comfort a mourner? You just caused him a lot of pain. What'd you tell him? The first thing you told him what? Maybe you provoked Hashem, that's why he punished you. Or maybe you could have said something, why a cow, maybe you had nivel peh. That's why he took your son. That's how you speak to a mourner? Rabotai, the translator said, no, that's not what I meant to say. He said like this. This is what he was trying to tell him. There are these sins that are always traveling everywhere. Rabotai. He says, do you know why Hashem had to take your son Loleinu to Rav Chaim Igal? He says, because you were so important in Hashem's eyes that he had to take your son on behalf of the whole generation. I want to read the Rashi. Rashi says, Chashuv ata lemaila, you are important above in heaven. Letafsecha ve'ed bencha be'avon hador, to take you, meaning to hold you accountable, and to take your son Rabotai Loleinu be'avon, because of the sin of the generation. The generation, not the father, chas v'shalom. The kaimalam, because we hold halachically, bizmashi tzadikim bador, as long as they're tzadikim, Rabotai, and people think it's okay to do averos, what am I doing wrong? Rabotai, you're selfish. You are so selfish, you have no idea. You do what you want, you say what you want, because you don't, it's that rabbi, that, not me. Rabotai, until it doesn't hit home, nobody realizes the emet. The kaimelam bezman shi tzadikim bador, because we hold, as long as there's tzadikim in the generation, tzadikim nitpasim al hador. The tzadikim, they're held accountable on the generation. Like I said in Masech Shabbat, Rabotai, I want to be for you over here. Rabotai, we know in Corona what happens, a lot of tzadikim were going, correct? And then we saw what happened in Meron, about 40-something people, young people went, and we see what's going on. Rabotai, this is very scary. Look what he says over here. Shh. Where am I? Here. Let me say the name. Rabotai says like this. The Amar Rabbi Gurion v'item Rav Yosef b'Rabbi Shemaya. Bizman sha'ad tzadikim bador. Rabotai Masechet Shabbat daf lamed gimel amud bet. At the time when you have tzadikim in the generation, tzadikim nitpasim al hador. Who is held accountable for the generation who's accountable for the sins of the generation? Tzadikim nitpasim al hador. Tzadikim are held accountable. That's because they're so important. If Hashem decides to take somebody in the whole generation, there's going to be nobody left in the world. Rabotai, what happens? Ain't tzadikim bador. Get ready, Rabotai, lo leinu. Ain't tzadikim bador. Tinikot shel beit rabban nitpasim al hador. Young children start going, Rabotai, because they're also considered to be tzaddikim. That's why sometimes I don't start saying names. If you see Lolo in people, Lolo Chas v'Shalom, Rabotai, in Hashem's eyes, you never know how they were able to do an exchange for how many more people that were doing the Nevera. That's what Rabotai, don't think it is so pashut to do Averis and thinking that it is okay. It is not okay to do Averis. That's why, what it means, you have to realize what we're reading over here. Tzadikim pasim al hador, al avon hador. The tzadikim are held accountable for what? For the sin of the generation. I want to ask you a question. Is it worth it now for me to come and start telling you that the Chumash and everything is going to be okay because I'm trying to bring you closer? There is a way how to go about it. Rabotai, but when you're teaching a community, you gotta rebuke the community because nobody knows who you're speaking to. But you gotta teach them what the Torah is saying. You gotta tell them the cause and effect of what's gonna happen. Do you know why? If not, Rabotai, the tzaddik that might be next might be the rabbi that's speaking chas v'shalom. Because there are various Rabotai, tzaddikim are dying. And that's not good. You know why? Because Chazal tell us, when tzaddikim are sleeping, it's bad for the world. When the Rishayim are sleeping, it's good for the world. Why? When a tzaddik is sleeping, he's not learning Torah. If he's not learning Torah, who's protecting the world? Pay attention. When all the Gedolim are going one after another, pay attention how much more trouble there's in the world. Just Rav Chaim, Rav Chaim Igal, Rabotai, just pay attention. Many, many more problems. Why? As long as they are here, they're protecting us. Once the Rabotai they go, what's our protection? Rabotai, therefore, what do we have to do? Each and every one of us needs to make sure that it is not a joke, Rabotai, when you see somebody do something wrong. And plus, I want to just tell you something really quick, Michela. They say, Rabotai, not only this, they say that when a person speaks nivel peh, not only he makes his Gehenom deeper, but also the people that listen to him. You know why? Because you are feeding you are giving fire to his fuel, whatever you want, fuel to his fire. Why are you listening to him? You understand, Rabotai? That's why a person has to be strong. Yitgaber, a person has to be like a lion, Rabotai, to be able to overcome these challenges. Rabbi Chaim ben Akash Omer, Tzagash Baruch Hu,